I'm happy to introduce today Horst Lindstedt, whom I know since 40 years and who is living since 23 years in Capetown in South Africa and can tell us something about the situation about COVID and as well as about the situation about tourism and safari tourism in South Africa in those days.
Yeah. Well, hi, how are you? Currently, the situation is quite relaxed. There's still some people being admitted to hospital on a daily basis, but the vaccination campaign is advancing properly. The hospitals are not overcrowded. The auxiliary hospitals have been shut down. Okay, we are approaching now into summertime, springtime in Cape Town and Johannesburg, Kruger Park, etc. So the weather is quite favorable in terms of infections. Yeah, to travel South Africa is a fairly good option. Keep a distance, wear a mask where required. We are requested to wear a mask in public, but no, nobody's really gonna check you. There's no policeman gonna come and reprimand you on that. Entering an office, a shop, a shopping mall, then you are required to wear a mask. And sometimes you'll be asked to enter your name on a list. When you go to restaurants, some won't do it. It's not as strict as in Germany.
Yeah, but at the beginning, probably you could tell us a little about the situation, how it was in those nearly 2 years of COVID we have now.
Well, the trouble started in end of March last year, and then we faced a tough lockdown level 5 at the highest alert level. That means absolutely strict curfew at night time from 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the evening. All restaurants closed, and that kept on going some four weeks. Then it was lowered to level 4, slightly relaxed regulations, but still many shops closed. And then because of the downturn of the economy, the government decided to lower restrictions to level 3, and that lasted for a couple of months, I would say until about February this year, and then the virus variant kicked in, and that was quite a problem. For example, it was double-folded inside South Africa, and also for people traveling to South Africa. We were labeled, for example, by the Robert Koch Institute in Germany, we were labeled as a virus variant zone, and that was actually more or less the highest alert level, and that was difficult for German travelers to return to their home country from South Africa. That was a big issue for tourism because nobody came to South Africa, and still the number of visitors visiting South Africa is very small, and I won't say that tourism is on the recovery, but our parks, our private parks, our national parks, they are all open to the public, and they're all welcoming potential travelers. Most airlines return to South Africa, and at present, that's the best news, the airfares are fairly low. They are not bad, actually. Even though the season kicked in now, it's end of September, early October, it's the start of the tourism season in South Africa.
Could you give us a few informations about those riots which were reported in the news, and if the tourism is affected by that?
Well, we had terrible events about 2 months ago, particularly in KwaZulu-Natal province. in Gauteng, Johannesburg, Pretoria area, a little bit in other provinces like the Northern Cape, Mpumalanga, which is close to Kruger Park. Yes, that was horrible pictures were broadcasted around the world, but it didn't really affect the tourism as such, because it was in certain areas, many township shops were affected, amazingly, and shopping malls. But I think all the tourist sites are still operating, and they have not been affected at all. There were no incidents recorded in the Western Cape province and in Capetown. That doesn't mean people weren't afraid, or some people actually closed down their shops because they were scared that these kind of things, riots and looting, are going to happen in Cape Town, but nothing happened. So at present it's calm, situation is back to normal, but in Natal there might be still some problems with groceries or maybe petrol.
What would you recommend if somebody asks you what kind of traveling to South Africa at the moment is possible?
In general, it's the same like before. Just avoid the big cities like Johannesburg, Durban, partly Cape Town. So come get to the airport, hop off the plane, get to your lodge, say in Cape Town on the peninsula, that's safe. Don't go to danger areas. Like there's no need for any tourists to visit any hotspot townships. Also, at present, I would not recommend to do any downtown tours through Durban. That I don't think that's a good idea. But in general, once again, it's calm. It's back to normal. And the weather is fine and great, as always is around October.
That's to say, safari tourism and hiking tourism is like normally.
Yeah. There won't be any problem to do any hiking. There are many interesting spots all over the country, and that won't affect, hikers won't affect it by anything that we mentioned earlier. Same applies to safari tours. At present, I would say there are certainly good prospects to do that, and there are special offers available all over, particularly with private game reserves. Yeah, check it out online. Do your homework. Then you will certainly find good ideas and good offers.
Could you say anything about how South Africa as a whole coped with that crisis?
Well, in general, I think the outlook is not too optimistic. My personal one. We had a downturn of the economy. We were hit hard by COVID. And obviously these riots and looting events, they also sent shockwaves through our economy. So for example, like for investors, they will hesitate to rock up in South Africa. But on the other hand, it's a resilient nation. And for example, the exports are on the rise. We've got really, fortunately, very, very pleasant export results. Like South Africa is at present on a surge of exports like citrus, fruits, vegetables to foreign destinations. Maybe a little bit of Europe, yes, but also the wine sales are top. But I mean, they had a big problem. The wine industry obviously had a big problem because we had, I think 3 times a tough prohibition rule was set up, so no alcohol sales at all for about a month. And that happens like 3 times since March last year, but they will recover, I'm quite sure.
Thank you very much, Horst Lindstedt, for giving us this information. And if anybody of you needs further information, you can put that in the comments. I will lead it to Horst Lindstedt, who is also available for as a guide if you are in South Africa or if you need any kind of information.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Heiner. You are all welcome to visit my new home country. And if you need please contact me, and I'm ready for assistance.
Goodbye, everybody.